Like many of you, I got my first telephone when I was 12. In my case, it turned out to be a rotary phone, so it wasn't that great for selfies, but I still love to call my friends, play with it, and sometimes take it apart. That telephone cemented my fascination with technology. I remember in my parents' house in Chennai, reading about the invention of the transistor at Bell Labs. Of course, that initial invention helped found what became known as Silicon Valley, and out of that came companies like Fairchild Semiconductor and Intel, and all the computers and software that we all use today. You can draw a direct line from that invention to the technology that powers your Twitter feed or your WeChat messages today. I remember reading about that and thinking, it's the idea that matters. It didn't matter where you come from or what your background is. One revolutionary idea, one brilliant invention can unleash other entrepreneurs to revolutionize industries in ways you could never predict. My background, so I was always interested in technology, and the first chance I could get to program, I learned programming, and so for me, I never thought of it as switching fields as much as when the internet started happening. It took me a while to realize the power of it, and it became obvious to me for the first time we are going to have something which could connect one day all of humanity and would profoundly transform what people did. So I wanted to be a part of that, so part of the journey. So that's how I thought of it, and so I didn't think of it as necessarily switching careers. I'm passionate about computing, and Google gives a chance for me to do what I love and do it in a way which impacts a lot of people. And so it's a good partnership I have with Larry and with the team there, and so I expect it to stay the same. A big part of what I focus on at any given time is making sure we are innovating and building products for the future. It's just got to be a normal course of how you think. And so, we are constantly thinking about what to do next. So, Android is very popular. People are using smartphones. But, I always sit and think about what is the next version of how people use computing, right? And so we are thinking about, things like virtual reality or augmented reality. So these are all new areas, but we are constantly thinking about it. And so you have to do that on a constant basis to push forward. Being in the US, I find people take a remarkably varied number of paths, and so I do think it's important to follow your dream and do something which you're excited by. So I think if you follow your heart and do what you like, you will always do much better. And so I don't think it matters that you're an engineer or you're in science, or it could be in any field. You will have many opportunities to reinvent yourself, and so so I think it's worthwhile taking risks and trying to do something you're really excited by. And if the first attempt you don't do it, you can try again, and things tend to work out in the long run. In Silicon Valley, part of the reason so many people start up a company is starting up a company and even having failed, you can wear it like a badge of honor, right? And I think it's important, culturally, risk is rewarded. I remember when I started working at Google, if I went and, people were discussing ideas, the other people who heard the ideas try to build on those ideas. They encourage you. So it's a culture of optimism. It's a culture of risk-taking. And I think that's really important. I would actually encourage all of you, if at some point in your life, you have to work with people where you feel a bit insecure, right? That's essential, because that means you're working with people who are better than you and who are pushing you, right? And so I always encourage, if you actually feel very secure in what you do, that means you're doing something comfortable and you're not pushing yourself. And so there are many times I've felt working with people in a group, am I doing enough? These people seem much better than me, and I think that's an inherent part of learning.